Most of you are probably familiar with Echinacea purpurea, which is the pretty purple flower or pinkish purple that you might see in the nurseries. You might not be familiar with the angustifolia, which has the very white, just white leaves with barely pinkish purple tint to it and much narrow leaves. But learn now about the benefits and propagation of these two species of Echinacea. Thank you for joining me today at Family Guide to Herbs Online School. I'm Carolyn Gibson, family herbalist, organic farmer, massage therapist, and I will be your instructor and guide today. Stephen Foster is considered the most knowledgeable person in the United States on the subject of Echinacea. Now, his conclusions from over 40 years of research that Echinacea is an anti-inflammatory, has strong wound healing action, stimulates the immune system, a strong antiseptic to use on wounds, and can be a strong antiviral or antibacterial if used at the first sign. Echinacea is not a tonic to be used daily to prevent colds or the flu or any other ailment. It can be effective if taken at the first sign of the cold or the flu. Back in the early 70s and 80s, Echinacea was heavily marketed as a cure-all for everything. I too was taking Echinacea every day to prevent cold, flu, and any other viral or bacterial infection to build my immune system. Stephen Buhner, author of Herbal Antibiotics and Herbal Antivirals, recommends that once you know you have the cold or flu, quit taking it. Only Echinacea angustifolia will work, not the purpurea. Although most of the research on Echinacea was done on the purpurea, it was done on the fresh juice of the tops of the Echinacea purpurea, not the roots. Now, I have a really good juicer, and it must take a lot of Echinacea purpurea plants to get any juice. After juicing one stem, only got a few drops of juice. If you develop an infection, such as respiratory or ear infection, then you would start taking it again. This is Stephen's conclusion after much research. Now, most herbalists still recommend to keep taking Echinacea during the cold or the flu. Now, Stephen considers Echinacea angustifolia root tincture very effective if used as the American Indians traditionally used it for and in large enough quantities. It needs to come in direct contact with the infection. The most effective way to take Echinacea angustifolia tincture is to mix it with your saliva. Take a minimum of 1/4 teaspoon, mix it with your saliva, and let it slowly drip down your throat. It must come in contact with the back of your throat to be effective. Do this a minimum of once an hour. It will have a numbing effect. Now, research shows that the cold and the flu viruses begin in the throat and the nose. Of course, the American Indians did not have alcohol, so therefore they did not have tinctures. Now, they would have been either drinking it as a tea, chewing on the root, or using a salve made with the root and animal fat, or they might have been burning it, inhaling the smoke. Now, don't be fooled by candles boasting Echinacea, because Echinacea has no apparent aroma. You will not find it in essential oils. Now, you can find herbal infused oils with Echinacea. Echinacea purpurea roots are more fibrous, while the angustifolia are larger and better for harvesting. Now, Echinacea is the most well-studied herb in herbal remedies, and although most studies were done on the Echinacea purpurea, most herbalists consider Echinacea angustifolia roots the most potent. Now, Echinacea purpurea self-seeds very easily. Once you have one plant, you're going to have them coming up all over the place. But it does grow very slowly, and it's going to take at least 2 years to produce a flower. Now, I have never had my Echinacea angustifolia self-seed. I normally divide the angustifolia to propagate it. Now, you can harvest the seeds when the cone turns dark brown, and you can spot these little tannish colored seeds inside of the cone. The seeds are kind of a tannish arrow shape. The coneflower is very prickly, so I use a fork to harvest the seed when the cone turns dark brown. The purpurea will come up quite easily from seed. The angustifolia seed has to be stratified and has a very poor germination rate. Now, you may be focusing on its antiviral benefits or boosting your immune system, but another important benefit is its numbing effect on the throat. Is your throat hot and swollen? Echinacea root, now not the tops, is an anodyne herb, meaning that it dulls or numbs the pain. Both purpurea and the angustifolia roots will have this numbing effect. A clinical study involving 154 patients with acute sore throats found that a sage and echinacea root throat spray to be as effective as chlorhexidine lidocaine throat spray. And this is just your regular garden sage, which is considered an astringent. Just combine equal amounts of tinctures of echinacea and sage to make a throat spray. Or you can make a tea with echinacea roots and sage leaves to make a gargle or nose wash. Echinacea roots are simmered for 10 to 15 minutes, and then the sage leaves are added. You would cover it and let it steep for another 10 or 15 minutes. Then you could warm it up if you wanted to. Now you're using 1 teaspoon of dried herb or 3 teaspoons of fresh herbs to 1 cup of water. Now, as wonderful as echinacea is, and we all talk about how safe herbs are, do not use echinacea if you have an autoimmune disorder. If you have an autoimmune disorder, you do not want it stimulated. Now, you can go to my YouTube channel to see how to make an echinacea root tincture, and I'll try and put the link to this in the description. Thank you so much for your attention. Now, natural healing is not a religion. It is your first course of action, not your only course. If you are not healing or getting better, see your doctor. Thank you for joining me today. Now, if you wish to see more of these videos, like and subscribe to our channel. Leave me comments in the comments section. Now, for the last 30 years, all of our income has come off our organic farm here in East Texas. We're 100 miles from Dallas, and our little community of 400 still considers chicken fried steak, mashed potatoes, and gravy a health food. And they just do not understand our lifestyle. They still laugh at what we are doing, especially since our main crop is wheatgrass, which they really have no idea what that is. We need your support by subscribing and liking our channel, and be sure and visit me at familyguidetoherbs.com, your guide to natural homemade remedies. Thank you so much.